Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Michelle here, and if you're new to my channel today, feel free to say hey in the comments. And while I'm talking away, maybe even write a few comments or ask me a few questions, or you can share a bit about what you've been through, because that'd be interesting. Have you been through this? What are your thoughts? And also feel free to subscribe today. And also, what I'm going to be talking about today, I've actually written about in my upcoming short story collection. I'm writing about the homelessness, lack of mental health services, and, broken Britain, basically, caused by this horrible government. And if you are interested in reading, these kind of books, I have said that the first 30 people will get the book half price, signed by me, and also, delivered with a handwritten letter. So, if you are interested, I've put the link in the description. So, yes, as the title suggests, Britain is broken, and I blame the Tory party. I am a socialist, and I fucking hate this government. I was born in the early 90s, and I have seen with my own eyes what's become of this country. When I walk the streets of Leeds, every 2 or 3 minutes there is homeless people. Women, pregnant women, children, don't matter who it is, they're on the streets. And people, not every single person, but most people treat these people with contempt. The things that people say walking past are horrible. I was at the train station last week, and there was a homeless man, sitting outside. And a lot of people were saying nasty comments like, oh, just get a job, and, oh, you can just use the fucking gym to shower. And I'm thinking, where did the compassion go in people's hearts? I'm sure there's a lot of other, passionate, kind people in this world, but they're getting less and less. And I'm seeing that when I'm walking the streets. Again, I'll say it, I blame this government. And I'm going to explain why. So, over the past 10, 15 more years, this goes back to Thatcher, but I'm going to focus on the past 15 years. There has been a huge, rhetoric of, people that are on benefits are scum. The programmes, benefit for Britain, scrounging council house stuff, programmes with ludicrous names like that, creating this rhetoric that, oh, people that are on benefits are just no good, and, sit with the 50-inch TVs and they don't need to do anything and they'll get it all. That's utter shit. I've lived a life, I've been on benefits myself, and it isn't enough to live on. And the benefit process, for one, is extremely arduous and extremely scary. And you're lucky to actually get benefits, because most people that have mental health problems in this country apply for benefits and are refused. Just look at the statistics to that. We've got a woman, that Therese coffey, the state of her. There's a picture of her, leaving the House of Commons, in holding a glass of what looks like champagne with a massive cigar hanging out of her mouth, and she is the person that is in control of the benefit system. Now, if that doesn't fill you with dread, and a bit of like, is that right? Benefits have been cut for the past 15 more 20 years. People that are on disability benefits are living in fear. A lot of these, socialist groups online, and there's been so many times that people that are living with cancers, or people that are living with terminal illnesses, these DWP Nazi types of, so-called assessed these people, and then turn around and said, oh, well, you can work. And then they've died. Starvation. And, some of these, there was a case, and I've put the link in the description, where a woman was a terminal cancer patient, and they cut her benefits when she was literally, I think she was about 4 stone. And that's what we're dealing with here. People, if they don't see it directly, they sometimes think we're living in a very unified, glorious society. Now, if you want to see that, you can. But I do dig beneath the surface and I see things. I mean, this has directly affected me. My father was, for instance, in receipt of DLA, as it was about 8 years ago. He got stopped for no reason, and he had to apply again, and he got less and less money, and there was literally no reason given. For example, people that are working full-time jobs even, often they don't get even enough money to live on themselves, you know, and this is all to do with the way that this government sees people and certain jobs. And it's true, you know, we've got a government that do what the fuck they want. You know, we've got Boris Johnson, who, and you know, we've got Boris Johnson doing what the hell he wants, you know, saying that people can't visit loved ones, and then having parties, you know, with his cronies. And we've got that Matt Hancock, who I personally hate, you know, literally, you know, flaunting the rules himself. And there's been various other, you know, cases to this. And this is really a big fuck you to the rest of us. And a lot of people seem oblivious to that. A lot of people are like, oh, well, they're MPs. And it's like, hang on a minute. These are the people that are supposed to be looking after us. And when did it become okay for us to be lied to? Because that's what's happening here. We're being lied to. They're turning around and, you know, saying, oh, these are the rules and we're all going to follow them. You know, and saying that they're following the rules themselves. And then there's been scandals about that. In various instances, the Tory government have turned around in Commons and said that, you know, people should look harder for work, and, you know, people that don't work don't contribute to society. That has been said. And worse, they are liars, you know, and I'm not an MP because, you know, I couldn't, I'd be chucked out. What I'd say in there, they'd chuck me out. They're liars, and they don't give a shit about human life, and I write about that. You know, children's mental health services have got worse. You know, adult mental health services got worse. Any adult mental health service, well, there isn't a service, you know. My father served in the army between 1976 and 1979. Or 1980, I think it was 1979. He has PTSD, he's suffered abuse issues, he has severe depression, he has anxiety, agoraphobia, and other issues that I can't really say on here for his own identity. He gets fuck all help. He's applied for it, but, you know, they've said that he doesn't fit the criteria. Again, it's all about money. And it's the truth, it's all about money. If you can't afford to pay a service, you go without. And that goes back to my first point, you know, which really is the lack of compassion that is in this world. And this government has created that. It's been a slow thing, but it started with Margaret Thatcher. Shutting all the mental hospitals down, saying that there's going to be this care in the community. There wasn't any care and there wasn't a community, because as Margaret Thatcher said, you know, there isn't a community. And people died. And people are still dying out here. You know, we need to ask, when did it become normal to pass a homeless person in the street and laugh? When did it become okay for people to wait years and years for mental health services and kill themselves while they're waiting? When did it become okay for, young children to actually be on waiting lists, for 2 to 3 years for slashing themselves? I've got a lot of socialist friends, and I've got a lot of people that are neither, politically affiliated, and they're shocked at what they see. I've got a lot of friends overseas in North America, and they've said the same thing. We just see it getting worse over there, and it is. The racism has got worse. I walk the streets, and there is a lot of hatred, especially in Leeds. I mean, I can't speak for every city, but I do speak for what I see. And people that are from Russia, people like my neighbours from Poland, are being told to go back to their own countries. They're being told that they don't belong here. They're being told... I've had Asian friends that were told, you're the cause of the coronavirus, fuck off. It's wrong. I'm all about peace, I am not religious, like people know. And I don't care if you are. What I care about is treating people with dignity and respect. And I fucking hate this government for what they've done, and I'm passionate about it. If you are new to my channel and why I talk so passionately, I was locked up 12 years old, subjected to a lot of abuse in a UK mental hospital. When I was released, I got given very little support, and I've dedicated my life to campaigning awareness of the inequalities within society. And I will do that until the day I die, because I love it. This UK is literally all about money. If you don't have the money, you're worthless. That is what it feels like, and that's what it looks like. If you're struggling in life, you don't mean anything. This has been proven by the fact that domestic abuse sanctuaries have been shut down. Cancer wards have been shut down. Loads of respite places for people with autism has been shut down. The funding for autism awareness in schools has been cut. And that's the SEN as well, the special educational needs, has been cut. Mental health funding for councils has been reduced. This is all true, and I've put the links in the description. And then when people ask me, why are you so passionate? This is the reason why. I care about the people around me. I don't want people to struggle. Every time I walk past somebody that is struggling, I think, I'm sorry that this society has done that. I understand that there's choices we can make in life. I've been there, I was homeless, and it wasn't necessarily my own fault. I escaped Hull for a fresh start, and I can't explain it all here because it would be a 50-hour long video. But if you are interested in more about my life story, you can easily go to therese.com, the link in the description, but therese.com. And so I left Hull and I moved to Bradford for a fresh start, and unfortunately I got sexually assaulted in the student accommodation, shared accommodation that I was in. And so then I kind of fled to Leeds, living in a hotel, and then I got help from a charity and I got my own house. But I was living in and out of homeless hostels and charities for a long time, and people wanted to wash their hands of me. The first thing that people said was, oh, well, were you born in Leeds? And I can't lie, yeah, I said, no, well, I was born in Hull. And they said, well, you don't have a connection, so I'm sorry, we can't help. And they used to just put the phone down. They passed the book, and the services still do. They said, oh, well, it's, you're fleeing for a reason, ring the police. And I said, well, the police don't deal with housing and mental health help. And they said, oh, well, we can't help, you weren't born in Leeds. And it's always an excuse. Like these crisis teams, like NHS waiting lists, there's always an excuse. Oh, you're drunk, we can't see you. And then when you do come back, oh, it's obviously you've got an alcohol problem because you were drunk earlier, so we're going to have to refer you to somewhere else. And then there's a waiting list for that. And then that service says, well, you need mental health support. It is a vicious cycle, and it is being done by this deliberately so that people get fed up and then go private, which is quicker with costs. It's shocking. And I am not an MP, I am not in control of this country. But what I can do is raise awareness, and what I can do is write about my experiences and make these videos. And I do hope that it does make a difference and open people's eyes. And I do expect backlash, and I do expect some support. But whether you vote, whatever you vote, I just hope that you can understand that I care about other people, and everyone should. And people don't choose to be abused. People don't choose sometimes to be on the streets. Sometimes they do, but a lot of the time they don't. People don't choose to not have money. People, there's, for instance, I'll say this. I know many friends that have been made redundant over the past 2 years. And I'm in a group, basically, another, socialist group. And someone shared some screenshots of the kind of hatred rhetoric coming from them because, they were made redundant and they couldn't find a new job. And a lot of the comments were, oh, well, you're obviously not looking hard enough, there's so much work and stuff. There isn't. Not really, because there's millions of people and there's maybe 500 jobs. I mean, there is, I'm trying to do an example off the top of my head here. There's more people than there is jobs. That's a fact. And it isn't that easy to go self-employed. I mean, I've made a very good start at it, but it's taken me a long time. And sometimes people can't. Sometimes people can't get out of bed. Sometimes people are physically disabled, so they can't move. I've got a friend who is brain damaged and sometimes he can't even move his arms and legs, and he has to have carers in 3 times a day. So it's like, a lot of people are struggling. NHS waiting lists are going up and up and up. I've had to go private recently in terms of having treatment for my wisdom tooth, because otherwise the wait would have been years on the NHS because of backlogs and also, privatisation. What I hope to do with my writing, I'm not unrealistic, I'm not hoping to change the whole world and be like, right, everybody's going to love, change no. But I do hope that some things are going to change and people are going to be like, well, actually, yeah, look, there's evidence of that. And look, I didn't realise that there was so much poverty, or I didn't realise that there was so many homeless, for instance. I just want to spark some awareness and change. And I hope that's what I've done with this video. But yeah, if you are interested in reading, writing, and, short stories, it's my first short story collection and I'm pretty excited about it. It's coming hopefully later on this year, as well as the memoir. Like I said, the first 30 people to click the link and show interest in the book will get it half price, will get it signed by me, and we'll get a letter from me as well, an individual letter as well, because I care like that. But yes, I'm going to go now. There'll be more videos soon. Let me know what you think in the description, and have a nice day. Thank you for listening. It's been Michelle Therese. Au revoir.